The demonic cult leader is my wife. The next day, Cheon-il Academy courtyard, Jo Jin-sang approached with a curious glint in his eye. Oh, are you the Jin Yomyong I've heard about? Jin Yomyong bowed respectfully. Greetings, head of Cheon-il Academy. Jo Jin-sang nodded with interest. No wonder you have a keen eye. Unlike the Demon Dragon Academy, even members of the 6 great clans have no special privileges here. Your father must be quite displeased. Jin Yomyong replied calmly. I will conduct myself properly. Jo Jin-sang raised an eyebrow. You're more courteous than I expected. Unlike the second son of the Ma clan, I am not arrogant enough to be rude to the iron-blooded demon cult leader, Yomyong said plainly. The official nickname of the Cheon-il Academy head is Mistbound Fiend, Yomyong thought to himself, but he prefers to be called the iron-blooded demon cult leader, a title the orthodox factions gave him. That's how all Brown knows him. Jo Jin-sang smirked. You're interesting. I like how you talk. It worked, Yomyong thought. Jo Jin-sang asked, is there anything you want? Of course, things like going outside or overnight stays are not allowed, but I can grant you a certain level of convenience. Yomyong replied, I would appreciate it if you could allow me to participate in the exchange events. After all, it is a Cheon clan event. Jo Jin-sang nodded. Nothing can be done about that. Anything else? Yomyong narrowed his eyes in thought. Is he asking again because he's expecting a particular answer? Perhaps. The real reason I came here. He spoke clearly. Please grant me access to the mainstream. It is said to have been created by the first heavenly demon to train his closest aides. I wish to experience the greatness of the mainstream. Jo Jin-sang's eyes widened slightly. Ambitious, aren't you? Do you even understand how dangerous that is? He crossed his arms. The current graduation rate and death rate of Cheon-il Academy is around 20%. The rest fail to meet the minimum requirements and are expelled. However, the graduation rate of the mainstream within Cheon-il Academy is only 5%. Do you know what the death rate is? Yomyong smirked. Yes, I do. It's everyone else, he thought. Jo Jin-sang asked, yet despite knowing that, you still want to challenge it? Yes. I must become stronger, no matter what. After all, for me, it is a matter of life and death. Jo Jin-sang sighed. Very well. If you insist, I won't stop you. Thank you. However, Jo Jin-sang continued, you cannot do it alone. At its core, training in the mainstream is conducted in groups of 6. Yomyong realized, because the heavenly demon had 6 close aides. Jo Jin-sang added, within 6 months you must gather at least 6 people, including yourself, or several groups in multiples of 6. Yomyong raised an eyebrow. Are you saying I can bring as many as I can gather? Jo Jin-sang grinned. That was part of your goal anyway, wasn't it? Yomyong said. I didn't expect you to be so upfront with your approval, Jo Jin-sang responded. However, all of this is only valid on the condition that you pass the Cheon-il Academy entrance test. Now that I think about it, because of the harsh training, even the Ma clan's kid looked like a corpse during his first year. Despite that, you're only giving me 6 months? Yomyong thought. Since you've given me the authority to select my own talented people, I'll make sure you regret it. As murmurs echoed in the background, whisper, whisper, Jin Yomyong. That's the Jin clans. Yomyong walked alone, but not unnoticed. Suddenly, someone called out to him. My name is Ma Jin-song, the one you injured with a cowardly move, Ma Chosu. He's my 6th cousin. Yomyong looked at him blandly. So, what business do you have with me? Ma Jin-song grinned. Nothing in particular. I just wanted to carve my existence onto your mind. Okay then. Ma Jin-song exhaled deeply, satisfied. What is with him? Yomyong thought. Elsewhere, the heavenly demon's training grounds, the heavenly demon Cheon Taejong watched coldly, not even close. Your technique's flow is sloppy, and your inner energy circulation is rough. He pointed his finger at Cheon Yura. If you had fully maximized the heaven-slaying enhanced energy, you wouldn't have been pushed back by an elder of the Ching sect. Cheon Yura stood there sweating and ashamed. That's... Cheon Taejong interrupted. Are you still afraid of falling to your demonic nature? Cheon Yura gripped her sword tightly. The heavenly demon, Cheon Taejong, spoke coldly, afraid that you might kill someone like Bayon, or that child from the Jin clan with your own hands. Yura, he called again. Cheon Yura replied quietly, yes, cult leader. Cheon Taejong continued. In the 1,000 years since the founding of our cult by the first heavenly demon, only 3 heavenly demons have ever emerged. Heavenly demon, the title belongs solely to the absolute being who arose once every several generations. Yura, you have the potential to become the next heavenly demon. You could be the first in our cult's history to inherit the title directly from the previous generation. He looked down at her with unwavering intensity. Being swept up in your demonic nature is for the ordinary, but for people like us, we must seize control of our nature, no matter how fierce it becomes. We must do so, he added, even if it means losing something precious. Of course, one day you must marry and continue the Cheon clan's bloodline, but at least for now, do not get distracted. Just focus on perfecting your martial arts. Usabiyon, listening from the shadows, muttered to herself, "What's happening? I thought the cult leader liked young Master Jin. Is that not the case?" But Cheon Taejong remained silent. Then finally he spoke again. "Those people are by no means easy opponents." Cheon Yura's eyes widened, caught between shock and confusion. And back at Cheonil Academy, disciples strained as they carried heavy boulders on their backs while climbing a steep hill. Spare me." The one-eyed bald instructor clicked his tongue. "Tisk, tisk. What kind of warrior is this weak? That's not enough to kill you." Moments later he barked, "We'll take a short break." The disciples dropped their boulders with exhausted groans. Jin Yomyung gasped, "This is going to kill me." But then, he thought to himself, "Still, judging by how quickly I recover, I guess I really do have some of the Jin clan's blood in me. If it were Ye Woon, he would have done this with a smile." The instructor suddenly shouted, "You all know about the recent expansion from the 4 pavilions to the 5 pavilions, right? That's why the Heavenly Intelligence Pavilion is actively recruiting field operatives." He added, "Cheon Il Academy can now only recommend up to 3 people per student batch." The men around Yomyang gasped with excitement. "Oh, the shortcut to success," Jin Yomyang thought. "Even I'm interested in that." From a distance, Ma Jin-song watched him closely. Jin Yomyang's thoughts deepened. The Heavenly Intelligence Pavilion, essentially the intelligence agency that will one day control the entire sect. Yet they failed to detect the betrayals of the Guardian Corps and several of the 6 clans. They even recommended Han Mubarak for the demonic faction lord selection. That's very suspicious. Now there's a chance to infiltrate that agency. Safely. The one-eyed bald instructor said, "Well, for you all there's also an alternative route to success, comparable to being in the Heavenly Intelligence Pavilion itself." "Right. Jin clan's child?" Jin Yomyang, surprised, muttered to himself, "That bastard." Then aloud he said, "You're not wrong. Well, if you insist," he added, smirking, "I can leave the front gate guard position at the main clan empty for you." The instructor blinked in confusion. "What?" Yomyang crossed his arms. "Does being the Jin clan's gatekeeper sound like a joke to you? He earns at least 3 times your monthly salary, you know?" The instructor frowned. "Do you even know how much we make?" Yomyang grinned. "A regular instructor earns 15 nyang. A senior instructor gets 20 nyang, right?" The instructor's eyes bulged. "How do you know that?" Yomyang smirked again. "Opportunities are always present." The instructor trembled in anger, clenching his fist. "You, little." But then he leaned in close and whispered, "Are you serious?" The others looked on, stunned. The instructor quickly straightened up. What? So what? I was just asking, all right? Money's always a good thing." He chuckled to himself, thinking of gold and silver. Then, changing the topic, he said, "Anyway, if you reach a certain level of mastery in the heaven-soaring divine art, you will no longer be harmed by fire or water. That's one of its effects." Jin Yomyang yawned. Sure, have a drink," as he swung his sword through the air. He thought to himself, though, oddly enough, this sword technique feels like something from an orthodox sect and Cheonil Academy training room. Yomyang stood alone, sword in hand. Actually, sword styles of different natures usually don't work well together. However, back then, Cheon Yura's and my techniques connected smoothly, like flowing water. Let's take a closer look at it once more. He imagined Cheon Yura before him. She raised her sword and swung. Yomyang stepped back to evade. She struck again. This time, Yomyang blocked her attack cleanly and grinned. "This time, I can receive it." Cheon Yura froze mid-movement. Yomyang smirked and teased, "Are you upset because my foundation didn't shake?" Then he thought, "Also, the blockage is starting to clear. The flow of energy throughout my body. Before, I barely fended off attacks using technique or instinct. But now, I can see them." Cheon Yura said, "What exactly did you say you blocked just now?" As Jin Yomyang looked back, he was shocked. He thought to himself, "There is one thing I am becoming more certain of. The Ten-Fang Divine Sword Art shares its origin with the Heaven-Slaying Demonic Sword Art. But how? The Heaven-Slaying Demonic Sword Art is a secret sword technique passed down only through the Cheon clan's direct bloodline." As Cheon Yura's sword swung toward him, Jin Yomyung said, "Sixth form of the Ten-Fang Divine Sword Art." He continued in thought, going past basic sword techniques and beyond sword energy. "I'm stepping into the realm of sword masters, gazing past the wall into the path beyond. The limitless demon realm." As Jin Yomyung charged forward and clashed head-on with Cheon Yura, a huge blast erupted in the training room. Jo Jin-sang was shocked. One-eyed bald instructor turned around. Jo Jin-sang exclaimed, What's going on?" One-eyed bald instructor said, "Is this an ambush?" Jo Jin-sang said, "Ha! That reinforced wall fell apart like tofu." One-eyed bald instructor said, "Fortunately, he was using the training room, so there were fewer casualties." Jo Jin-sang asked, "Was Jin Yomyung the one who reserved the room?" The instructor replied, "Yes." According to him, the wall suddenly collapsed with a bang, and a powerful wave of energy overwhelmed him. Given his status, we are also considering the possibility that it was an assassination attempt. Jo Jin-sang thought to himself, an assassin going wild like this. Honestly, it would be more believable if he had just wrecked the place while training, though I would not bet on it. He cannot have already reached the peak realm at his current age. He is not even the cult leader or the young cult leader. And then, a few moments later, the guard shouted, "Search every corner." Another guard said, "There might be an infiltrator." Meanwhile, Jin Yomyung thought, how did the Ten-Fang Divine Sword Art end up in the Jin clan's secret library? And how did Master know its identity? "Master? Just who are you, really?" Guchil whispered. "Young Master." Jin Yomyung asked, "Did you leave any trace behind?" He thought to himself, I still do not want people to know I can use sword energy, so it is better if it looks like an assassination attempt. Guchil said, About that, as ordered, I left traces that suggest a connection to an outsider group, but," Jin Yomyung asked. "But?" Guchil said, "It seems like there was someone else besides me." Jin Yomyung looked at him, shocked. He said, "What did you just say?" Guchil said, "There really was an intruder." Jin Yomyung replied, "Huh, talk about catching a rat while backing up blindly." Guchil added, "Also, it is not just any rat. It is a big one." Jin Yomyung asked, "Can you track them down?" Guchil smiled. "Who do you think I am?" Jin Yomyung thought to himself, the Royal Demon Phantom Assassin Corps, under the direct authority of the Cheon clan, second in command of the Cheon clan's Royal Demon Phantom Assassin Corps, Bayok Cheon Woon. That is Guchil's former name. On a few days later, a servant spoke nervously. "It has already been a month since we received that order. It is directly from the Eight Heavens General. Do not ruin the grand plan." The second leader replied, I will resolve it as quickly as possible." His hands trembled in frustration as he muttered, "It is just that Seonil Academy's security suddenly tightened. But the field practicals are taking place soon, so do not worry. If they cannot be recruited, we will eliminate them outside." Jin Yomyung, deep in meditation, released a breath. He thought to himself, though I wrecked the training room, it ended up giving me more time to focus on cultivation. It has stabilized. It forcibly cut off my impatience and craving for higher realms, which could have led me to fall into my inner demons. I should stop here and return to the dorms. As Jin Yomyung arrived at the dorms, a man shouted, "Young Master has arrived." His friend followed up, "Everyone clear out, you scoundrels. The young master needs rest." Another mumbled, "Sigh. If I get recruited into the Jin clan, my life changes overnight." A friend whispered, "Though they say you have to prove your worth by yourself, to be in the mainstream or something." And Jin Yomyung arrived in his room, which was clean, neat, and sparkling. A boy said, "Young Master, we have prepared new sheets for you." His friend added, "Please rest here." Jin Yomyung replied, "Thanks." Madam Ma Jin Song appeared at the door. "Ugh, the alley boss is here." A man inside muttered, That guy is being rude." Another said, "How dare a branch family member act so boldly?" Jin Yomyung said coolly, "An alley boss. If you want, I could make you one." Ma Jin Song snapped back, "You think I would serve you?" He stuck out his tongue. Jin Yomyung replied, "If you undergo the mainstream's training, you could even surpass Ma Chul-soo, the man you admire so much." Ma Jin Song stammered, "For real?" Jin Yomyung slammed the door. "Take your time to think. Oh, there is still time." Ma Jin Song stood frozen. "I can surpass Chul-soo." Jin Yomyung sat on his bed. "What I asked for." A man stepped forward. "Yes, young master, I have confirmed it all. The factions and internal statuses of the upper-ranked students." Jin Yomyung opened the scroll and thought, "Shoot, there are so many students with names containing Sang and Yon. There are dozens of them. He remembered the old letter, shown Il Academy. Target. Must kill, smoke, delivery request. He muttered, "Oh, now that I think of it, Captain Sandojon. He is one rank above me, is he not? Despite that, he is a stubborn martial artist who lacks tact and flair. He is probably staying far from all this faction business." But then he frowned. He is in a faction too? He looked back down at the paper. It read, Han Muyon Jin Yomyong thought, why does this name sound so oddly familiar? Thanks for tuning in. I truly appreciate each and every one of you who took the time to watch this video. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more content like this. If you enjoyed what you saw, consider sharing my videos or channel with your friends who might also enjoy it. Your support means the world to me and helps my channel grow. Let's keep this community thriving together. Until next time, see you in the next video.